Hello there and happy fall. And here we are for another edition or session of Fashion Flair Friday. I love this time of year. I know I've mentioned that to you before. And as I'm looking out the window right now, facing the windows here in my office and looking out to my yard, I am seeing all my Japanese maple trees turning from green to yellow to now kind of an orange color. And it's like, oh, yes, finally, they're so beautiful. So, what do you love about this time of year? I love to feel cozy this time of year. I love the sense of this time of year. I love the coolness and the crispness of the air. And so, one of the things I like to do is to do a little decorating. So, you may have noticed that I changed my set behind me, added some fall colors, added my little ceramic pumpkin, and added my pumpkin spice candle. All of those things just bring me great joy and get me in the mood. So, what kinds of things do you do to get yourself in the mood? Make sure you say hello. I see we've got some people on live, so great. I'm so glad you're here. And how do you like to kick off? Maybe you're getting ready for Halloween, or maybe you get ready by having a big bowl of candy. I try not to do that because I know who's going to eat it, me. So, a candle and a little pumpkin, whether it's a real pumpkin or whether it's a ceramic pumpkin, um, I think is just a fun way to bring the joy into the season. And that also pertains to your closet, which is what we've been talking about this month, how to beautify your closet and simplify your life. And I have gotten emails as well as comments here in the group about the accomplishments and the fact that, many of you are moving forward and you're actually getting rid of things. You've actually shown me a couple of ways of storing things, which I thought were very innovative. So I would love for you, whether it's now or whether it's later, to take photos, upload them, and share what some of your secrets happen to be in terms of your organization. So the one reason I say that this is so important is because, think about it. You start your day in your closet. You get up out of bed, you take your shower, whatever you do, you go to your closet. So, how does it feel when you walk to that closet? Do you have a walk in closet? Do you have sliding door closet? And maybe it's just part of your bedroom. Or maybe you have to walk into another room to get to your closet. But when you approach your closet, how does it make you feel? And so, this whole message that I want to leave you is that your closet can really make you feel great about starting the day. So, Betty, hi. Oh, you like to make butternut squash soup. Oh, yummy to celebrate the start of the season. That sounds wonderful. That is very seasonal, isn't it? So butternut squash soup. Well, now you'll have to give me your recipe. So how about the others of you that are on? What do you do to to kick off this season, this fall season? It's a busy time of year, I know, for all of us. So soups are a great way to save time in the kitchen because, you can make a big batch, freeze some of it, and then maybe extend it out over a couple days of the week. And that's great. Let's see. Sylvia Montgomery, closet audit. So you're doing your closet audit. Wonderful. Well, that is the purpose of our sessions here in October, to really, inspire you to get going and get moving and to get things cleared out and cleaned out. And whether it's off to consignment or whether it's donation or whether it's to, somebody that you think could really use it, it really does feel good to get rid of all of that burdensome a collection of things that really aren't going anywhere, that aren't doing anything, that aren't serving their purpose. So why keep them? So let's see, what do I want to say today? Well, we talked about removing. We've been talking about removing. So I want to ask you some questions. Have you removed all the clothes in your closet that you know are not in a color that works for you any longer? Have you removed clothes that do not fit the way you'd like them to? Have you removed clothes that don't complement your body shape? In other words, have you tried things on and have you really determined, should I keep this or should I let this go? Have you removed clothes that maybe were on trend 5 years ago, but now, have disappeared? Maybe have you removed clothes that don't work for the current climate, meaning the season change? So getting rid of all that spring and all that, summer, and move it to someplace else in your home or your garage or under your bed, however you're going to store it. We talked about that last week, all the different ways that you can store things. Or maybe they're clothes that really aren't working for your lifestyle anymore. So maybe you have changed careers, or maybe you have retired, or maybe you're spending a lot more time with your grandkids, and so you don't need those business suits anymore. So that would be a change of lifestyle. Have you removed the clothes that you never really liked anyway and you wouldn't buy again? I think that's really important to ask yourself, would I buy this again? And if not, then why keep it? And would you go ahead, or have you removed clothes that you haven't worn in a couple of years? And quite frankly, you're not likely to wear them in this upcoming season. So that's another reason to go ahead and get rid of. So, what I want you to do is to think about how you can bless other people with some of your discards and just be comfortable with doing that and knowing somebody else can use them. So those are just a few questions I wanted to go back and come back to the whole remove and see whether you have done that. And if you have, I'm going to say congratulations to you, because it's a hard thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. So if you've made headway, remember, in little 30-minute increments is all you have to do. You're well on your way. So congratulations if you've either started the process or if you've finished the process. That's wonderful too. All right, so what I want to talk about today is, okay, another way I think that we can look at our closets, and that would be to look at how, what do I want to say? Do they look like a boutique? In other words, so are they clean? Are they either wallpaper or painted in a color that really makes you happy? So think about, do you want plain white? Some people do, and I totally get that. But maybe one of your favorite colors happens to be purple. So what about if you were to take maybe a very pale lilac or a very pale wisteria and paint your walls that color? Well, that would bring me joy to walk into my closet if that was my favorite color. Or maybe it's going to be a soft yellow, or maybe a pale, soft, yummy blue. Whatever it is, but the idea is that color is really important. We all respond and react to it. And let's stop and think about, should we check the walls and see, are things a little dingy right now? Has the vacuum cleaner hit the wall one too many times? Or is it dusty? Do we see little cobwebs hanging around in the closet? So is it time to really take a good look about, can I freshen this up? And is this an opportunity for me to actually do a little decorating in the closet? So color would be the main thing I would say to just take a peek at. The other thing would be to take a look at your light sources in your closet. Can you see everything equally? Or is there that dark corner in the back that you really can't see what's back there? So consequently, you never go back there. So think about proper lights and light fixtures so that every item in your closet gets the spotlight. Now, if that's something you feel like you can't really do, well, maybe there's a local handyman. And I found this website called thumbtack.com. You can find all kinds of people on this website to do all kinds of things, whether it's tech things, or whether it's painting, or whether it's electrical, or whether it's plumbing, or whether it's gardening. So check it out if that is something that could help you do some of these projects that you want to get done. Now, the other thing you can do is sort of redefine your space. So you could create some inspiration by hanging maybe a favorite saying. Maybe it's you would frame it and then hang it on the wall to remind yourself. Maybe it is a picture of, just an outfit that you are just ready to die for, that it's just fabulous and it would be inspiration for you, or maybe even help you redefine maybe where your style is headed. So think about these little personal touches that you can do to bring joy to you. You could frame them, you could put them on the wall. You could actually, even if you have a mirror, and I hope you do, I talked about that last week, every woman needs to have a mirror in her closet or very close by so that you can look at yourself front, side, and back. And so you could also take a pen and write something on the mirror. Maybe it's an inspiration for you for the week, or maybe it is a weekly goal that you have, or maybe it is a reminder to make sure you pull out, that set of pearls that you've been wanting to have restrung, and you go ahead and get that done. So use your mirror as a writing source to give you inspiration or to give you some direction of what you'd like to get accomplished over the next few weeks. And then lastly, I think, there's nothing better than coming into your closet, just like I do it here in my office, to where you feel relaxed, where you feel that you've got things in there that just spark joy for you and that add some peace. And for me, candles do that. All my friends know that I love candles, so that is one of the gifts that I get from people fairly often, and I absolutely love my candles. So I have it here in my office. I have one in my bathroom. I have one in my closet because I have a little walk-in closet. I have one in my bedroom. I have them all over the house, and I love to burn the scent of the particular season. So you could also add scent to your closet or to the drawers by putting lavender sachets or your favorite fragrance in the drawers to keep the clothing smelling wonderful when you open it up. Maybe you put something like a beautiful rose or a gardenia or a favorite flower in a very simple, single, crystal vase. So again, when you walk in or you see that, or you see it in your bathroom, and again, it just reminds you of, a beautiful boutique, and it reminds you of, for me, it reminds me of nature and joy and my sanctuary. Let's see here. What else? Anything else? Any of you do that in your closets? Do you put some sort of, scent or object that really brings you joy? Maybe it's a beautiful painting, or maybe it's a print, or maybe it's a series of pictures of your family. Those kinds of things bring me joy as well. So the last thing I just want to say is once you've done your clean out, and once you've thought about and then start to envision how you can make this your sanctuary, how you can make this your boutique that you're going into every day, then I want you to really take a hard look at what's left in the closet and start asking yourselves, can I create a capsule wardrobe for the fall season and then for the winter season? And so, what is a capsule wardrobe or a cluster of clothing? It really is nothing more than a grouping of clothing that comes together and that all mixes and matches. So, there are different numbers that can be used as to how many of this and how many of that you need to have. I'll just start with a simple number and say, okay, 5 pairs of pants for fall that are going to be your go-tos. Things that you're going to wear on a regular basis. Not the kinds of things, I'm not talking about the kinds of things that you might wear to a special occasion event, but those everyday workhorse pants. Okay, and I don't mean 5 of the same thing. I mean 5 pants that are different. Maybe they're different in color. Maybe one has a pattern, or two are solid, and you know, two are jeans. One is a dark wash jean, one is a light wash jean. So having some flexibility in the pieces is really important to be able to stretch your looks out over time. Now, for however many bottoms you have for this season that you really want to wear and you want to utilize, then what I want you to do is look at how many tops you have. You always want to have about double the number of tops to pants. Okay, again, variety of tops. So maybe some that are 3/4 sleeves, maybe some that are full sleeves now that we're going into the cooler months. Maybe some have a crew neck, maybe some have a turtleneck, maybe some are cotton, maybe some are cashmere. So look at those tops and really see, do they work back with the pants? They need to. And so that's why really understanding your color palette and what works for you is so key, because when you build a wardrobe, then you can build it around the colors that really interconnect and work back and forth for total flexibility. So if you haven't had a color palette done, I recommend that you do that. And if you have had one done, but you have not had one done for at least 10 years, then it is time to at least update it and revisit it, because as we age, our colors will soften. And for me, I've mentioned it before that I used to be very predominantly warm, brown hair, gold streaks rather than the white that is in there now. And so the colors that I could wear then are very different than the colors that I'm wearing today. So knowing that color change for you is going to affect the colors that are going to work well for you or that you're going to gravitate and reach for. All right, so we said pants and then double the number of tops. And then if you're a dress or a skirt wearer, then have one. I'm not a dress or a skirt wearer, so I don't focus on that. I'd rather have an extra pair of pants in lieu of the dress and in lieu of the skirt. And then on top of that, we have to have our layering pieces, don't we? So I would say 4 to 5 go-to layering pieces, whether that's a cardigan sweater, whether that's a couple of different jackets, or whether that might be a tunic top that you wear and then you muffle with some sort of a scarf to actually finish it off and give it a neckline. So choosing pieces in at least one of your neutral colors and then one of your accent colors is a great strategy to really look at what's in the closet and are things coordinating. Because I can tell you, I can walk into a closet and I can see a closet absolutely full, jam-packed with clothes, and yet there's very little that really talks to the other pieces. And that's just because we haven't learned maybe how to think about putting together this cluster or this capsule wardrobe to really make us happy. So I don't see any questions. Darla, hi, nice to see you. You said, I never thought about painting my closet to make me smile. Absolutely. Remember, that's where you start your day, and that's where you want to bring forth the joy to really encourage you for the day. So I really want to eliminate, boredom. I want to eliminate frustration. And so the closet, and really taking all these steps that we've talked about. We talked about the remove. We talked about redecorating. We talked about reorganizing last week, and a lot of different techniques and tools that I gave you last week. We're talking about redefining by inspiring our looks with either phrases or inspirational quotes or pictures of things that really inspire us. And then we talk about creating this form of relaxation as we're preparing ourselves in the morning, or as we're preparing ourselves as we close down our night and get ready for bed. So that, in my opinion, is how we beautify the closet, how we simplify our lives with all of these techniques I've given you over the last few weeks. And I'm wondering if any of you have a favorite technique that you'd like to share. And if so, go ahead and enter it into the comments area, because we can all learn from one another. Now, for those of you, I'll just hold here for a moment while you put your thoughts in, but for those of you that are going to come and see this on replay, as I always ask you, don't forget to go ahead and put the hashtag replay so that I know you have been here. So has this 3 weeks of discussing your closet and looking at it in a new way, has that given you any new ideas or new inspiration? Diane says, I like to cluster clothes by color. Very good. Remember, your cluster has got to have a neutral and maybe 2 neutrals and a pop color or an accent color. So think about your cluster for total mix and match capability to really be more than just one color. So Diane, I don't know if you meant you cluster your clothes, meaning you hang them, or whether you think about how you're going to coordinate them. So I'm talking about how you're going to coordinate them. All right. And if you find that, this whole process is something that's really difficult for you and you're struggling with it a little bit, then what I want you to make sure of is that you know that this is something that I can help you with, whether we do it virtually or whether we do it in person. If you live close by me, that is one of the services that I offer. So a lot of people are opting to go virtual these days, and so I offer that service as well. So you're in your closet and I'm here on Zoom, and we can actually go through things together. But I also, other services that I offer, of course, are color and style and fit, all of those things. So I just want you to know that if you'd like to learn more about those services, go ahead and schedule a 30-minute consultation with me. And you can do that right from the home page of my website, which is powerful-presence.com/talk to Marian. You can go right to the URL that way, or you can go to the powerful-presence.com homepage, and at the very bottom there's a little 30-minute icon, and you can just click on that and it will take you to my calendar, and you can pick a time that works for you. The other thing I will just mention, just to sort of prime you for where this could take you, would be to really be able to learn how to create a style to call your own. So I call my signature program Empowered Style to Call Your Own, and I will be starting that program up at the very end of January. And I'm going to have special pricing, or I do have special pricing right now on the website through December 31st. So if you want to learn how to put a style together using, developing your style personality, understanding how to choose your best colors, how to understand to work with the body that you have, the scale of you have, the structure that you have in your body in order to choose the right fabrics and how to choose the right fitting types of garments, as well as how to choose your best accessories, how to think about your hair and your makeup and what's important there, and then ultimately how to create impactful outfits. That's what the Empowered Style program is all about. So there again, you can go to the home page of the website. Right at the very top, there's a red banner. You can just click on it and it will take you to more information. So just getting ready to have you all thinking about, now that the closet is starting to get cleaned out, are we going to rebuild it? Are we going to rejuvenate it? Are we going to recreate things? And so how do you do that? And I just want you to know that you have my support if indeed you choose to be one of my students, one of my clients. So I don't see any questions here. Let me just go through one more time. Sylvie, you said I arrange my closet by sweaters all in one area, the blouses, pants, and then dresses. Yes, and then within each category, I want you to hang them in color order, either light to dark or dark to light. The other thing you can do with your sweaters and your blouses is also hang them by sleeveless, short sleeve, 3/4 sleeve, long sleeve, because when you do that, then it kind of tells you where the holes are. You can see, oh, I can see I really would like to have a shell sleeveless, but I see I don't have that in one of my neutral colors. So good. I'm glad you like that idea. And Diane, you answered my question. So you cluster your clothes, meaning you hang them, as does Sylvie, as all of us really should do. The other thing I might suggest to you is that you think about on the weekends actually planning ahead for the week. So for those of you that are really, really busy and you're on the go a lot, then you can take a Sunday afternoon. You can actually pull items out of your closet, try them on together, just accessorize them, and then hang them in a place in your closet where Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you are ready to go for the week. So that's another little bit of a tip that can help you save a lot of frustrating mornings and really have it all in place ahead of time. All right, let me just check through here one more time. I think we have got everything covered here for the moment. And of course, you can always come back into the group, add more comments, add pictures, add a recipe. Doris Beckman last week added a photo of the way she stores her scarves. So go back and look for that. So let's share some information. I shared a lot with you last week in terms of how to store things. Maybe you could do the same thing for the rest of us in the group and share your inspiration. There are no wrong answers. There are only good ideas. So that's it for this week, my friends. I will look forward to seeing you next week, and we'll be off on another topic next week. So take care. Happy fall. Bye-bye now.